Well, caught a nasty wreck with what looked like a grain hauler on I-35 in Kansas the other day. Also, an Ass-Wagon in Omaha has to cut me off because they're not paying attention. Met another subscriber who had actually left me a note before in Plover, Wisconsin. Got to officially meet him at the post, where I tend to pick up a lot. And got some load updates, of course, Mr. Funny Bounce there, Rusty, and more in this episode of
the Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and fuzzy studio audience. Yep, that's Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, today is Thursday night, the 25th. I had that load that I picked up down in Grand Prairie, Texas. And, oh yeah, somebody did put in the comment, oh, well, Six Flags over Texas, that's in Arlington. Yeah, I know it is. But Arlington borders Grand Prairie, and when you're coming down the highway, it's right there. So, yeah, give me a little slack, would you? Anyway, picked up at Mission Foods. It only filled a third of the trailer. It was tortilla chips and so forth. Brought it up to Mission Foods in New Brighton, Minnesota. And I go there for my delivery on Tuesday because I knew I had to pick up Wednesday a load that's just a one-day run back to Cheyenne. It's a pretty tight one. And I go get there, and they say, oh, no, you're not on the schedule today. It wasn't yesterday, and looks like it's tomorrow at 10:30. Really? Really? Of course, I'm supposed to pick up at Post in Northfield at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. So I was like, well, that's not going to work too well. Luckily, Post is fairly flexible with the cereal on that end. Now, the other end, delivering to Walmart, Walmarts are not flexible. If you're late, they're going to reschedule you for the next day. But so I never nailed down, the broker said Mission was lying. Mission says the broker's lying. Bedrock Logistics, by the way. I had never worked with them before, and I don't think I'll be working with them again. They at least did give me detention because it took them, as I said in my last video, 4.5 hours before they even put me into a damn door. So I got $100 worth of detention, and they gave me a $150 layover, which is a little chintzy, I think, when you have to sit an extra day on a load. So I got a little bit more out of them. And at least, because I was going to Post, I was only 50 minutes late to my appointment for Post, and they just went ahead and put me in the door and got me loaded. So I was still able to make it through and deliver in Cheyenne this afternoon, Thursday afternoon. Because like I say, I'm picking up on Wednesday afternoon, delivering Thursday afternoon, 860 some odd miles. That's a little more than a day's drive, but luckily was able to make it work. All right, for those of you just tuning in for the carnage, let's go ahead and do that. When I was on my way up after picking up in Texas, lots of icy, rain and conditions causing some havoc in Oklahoma and in Kansas. And as I left, what would this have been, I guess, Monday morning as I was heading up that direction? Look what I came across. Yep, well, that's why when I got parked last night, it was starting to get pretty greasy. Oh yeah, this one, oh, it's a truck full of sand. Got the trailer right now. And now the Clutch Trucker zoom and slow-mo. Yeah, all I can figure is the truck that's in the median probably was trying to avoid the crash, and that's where they ended up going. You can see their tire tracks as they went off into the median. Now, if you look over here to the right, you can see there's an emergency vehicle. Looks like another tow truck. Then you got a flatbed. Looks like they're loading up that pickup maybe onto that flatbed. So all I can figure is that pickup was involved with the grain hauler, and then that forced the grain hauler off the road through the guardrail, and you can see kind of a mound of grain or dirt or sand or whatever he's hauling. They have that dumpster there. As they're trying to pick it all up, there's a little bobcat behind it picking everything up off the roadway, and you can tell that trailer is just completely gnarled and totaled. Yeah, so that happened. Got delayed the extra day, stayed at this Love's up there in I think it was Columbus, Minnesota, or it was like Los Lakes, Forest Lake, Minnesota, I think that's what it was. Not a bad place to stay. It's a newer Love's. Then when I went down after delivering, finally, the next day, in New Brighton, down to Post in Northfield, I'm in a door, and I see this truck come by, and guys waving at me, and I wave back, and it turns out it's Tall Trucker. He had left me a note on my step when I was in Plover, Wisconsin, a couple months back, and he had parked next to me, but he had to leave before I did, so I didn't get to talk to him that day. So it was nice to finally meet him.
Hello, Trucker. Finally good to meet you.
Tall Trucker, that's his name. He left a note on my door one time in Clover, and he had to run before I did that day, so I didn't get to meet him, but we finally caught up with him here today in Northfield. So nice to catch up with you.
Good to meet you.
Real nice guy. He works for Taylor Truck Line, so like I said, they're one of the main places that drop trailers there at the post in Northfield. So he figured he'd catch up with me someday, and we did. So anyway, got my load, made it to Cheyenne, parked in York, Nebraska last night. The Petra was overflowing. The shell I normally park at was overflowing. So I went up to the Sapp Brothers in their dirt lot, covered in slush. I barely got out this morning, and when I was trying to leave, 4 other trucks were stuck and they couldn't move because it was just wet enough the day before, and then at night it froze again, and so now all these trucks were stuck. I smartly picked a spot where a truck had been parked and left just before I got there, so he was mainly on the mud and the dirt, which you got a better chance of getting out of than the ice. What do you think? So, yeah, I got delivered at Walmart this afternoon. I had a 4:10 p.m. appointment. At Walmart's you can't get there more than an hour ahead, so I got there about 3:15, and then they didn't have a door for me right away, and I was like, oh, that's trouble. So I didn't get out of there until about 7 p.m. Ran over to the Sapp Brothers in Cheyenne, and I was going to meet my wife. She was going to bring me some extra clothes. These hooks that I finally got for my to hang my ladder up on the new doors on the trailer. I bought had some LED headlights sent to the house because remember I had to rewire. Talking about that in my last video. Did get that rewired, but I noticed also the wire coming off of those LED bulbs was starting to fray. So I'm like, well, I better get a replacement. So I have that with me. I always like to have replacement parts with me on the truck, ready to go. So in case anything goes out, I can take care of it. If there's a wiring issue like the other day, I was able to take care of it with some butt-end shrink tubing and all that. I can take care of it. I don't have to pay a shop for any of that little stuff because they're going to charge you $100, $200. Something you can do in 10 minutes. So I'm a big believer in that. And then, of course, got to see her real quick. But unfortunately, just real quick, because I'm picking up tomorrow morning in Glen Rock, picking up the lignite again for Friday, tomorrow Friday. Taking that back into Wisconsin. Did get another serial load coming back on Monday, delivering on Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. in Cheyenne, so I can pick up the lignite again next week in Glen Rock, Wyoming, going back for that following Friday. So we're booked through the end of next week, and that's as far as we can get at this point. Oh, and almost forgot to show you the Ass-Wagon in Omaha. Just obviously not paying attention and just drifts right into my lane. Now, you'd think it might be that guy right there, but no, it's the car in front of him. I'm just chugging along there in the center lane, and he just starts drifting. Hello. All right, so like I say, here it is Thursday, the 25th, picking up tomorrow, the 26th, in Glen Rock, Wyoming, taking the lignite back to Wisconsin. Nice thing about, there's good and bad to the Friday pickups. You have to be there before noon. And that's why I tend to come up Thursday night, for one, because I'm coming back up empty up I-25, and it's typically always windy, but it's not usually as bad at night. So if you're going to pull an empty trailer coming up, it's better to do it at night. And this puts me about 35 miles away from my pickup tomorrow. Then the good news is on Friday pickups, yeah, they close down at noon in Glen Rock, but then I now have all the rest of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to make it all the way to Wisconsin. About 1,000 miles, 1,100 miles, something like that. So I can take a little bit more of my time. So I got to catch up on some paperwork stuff, maintenance reports and stuff for Elliot and everything at All on Wheels this weekend. So I'm going to be doing some of that. And maybe I can get those hooks put on if I run into some good weather. And some other things I need to do on the truck. And I said in the last video I got the truck washed, and I wanted to try to show you. Well, now I drove through all the more salt and everything again. You can't even tell the damn thing was washed. $100. It lasted a day. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Just a little quick update tonight, let you know what's going on. Yes, they're coming, buddy. You don't have to butter me up. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, please like and comment. Get to your comments as soon as I can. Also remember to share, ring the bell for notification. When at the end of the video, when YouTube says, hey, you might like this, go watch that one too. That helps me out. Blah, blah, blah. Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter X, and also Clutch Trucker 5 on TikTok. And as always, and if that magic YouTube fairy dust, Clutch and Rusty, out. Are you sure there's no one follow us? Yes, like I've said, it would be completely and utterly inconceivable. Just out of curiosity, why you ask? Well, just because I was looking back there and there seems to be something there. Well, maybe it's just a local fisherman out for a pleasure cruise at night through eel-infested waters. Okay, you waiting for something? Yeah? What is it? Is it a bacon strip? Is that it? I think it must be. All right, get back up there. There you go. Rusty, it's in my hand. Yeah, it's so spazzy. I had to knock my coat down and everything. What did I tell you? You are a spaz. The world famous meatball dog. Definitely a spaz. At least we got a fairly flat spot here at the Broken Wheel Truck Stop in Douglas, right? Wow, did you already finish that first one? Goodness. All over it, baby. All over it. Yeah. I've been waiting ever since we got parked. Is he going to pull the camera out? Is he going to pull the light out? He sees me pull that light out, and then he knows. See, right there. See, there's the proof. There's where the bacon strip song comes from. Sometimes it eats too fast, and it starts to cough. He's a bacon strip dog. See, I didn't just make that up for whimsy. It was based on fact. Right, Rusty?